Let's get started. Welcome to the Real P&L Trading Show, where I share my P&L on 4 accounts and share my proprietary safe whale strategy for free. I want to make sure my audio is working okay. You guys let me know. And also be sure to post any questions you might have. I want to get to those questions, answer those questions before I get to the end of the broadcast. So if you put them in earlier, I'll have a chance to answer those questions. All right, great. Audio is good according to my comments. I appreciate that. All right, let's start with, now remember I've got 4 accounts and I have each 4 accounts in a separate trading system. So each system is separated out by the account. So you'll see how the system's doing based on the account. So I don't think anybody else does that. I think there's only a few of us that show our P&L, and the ones that do, they have multiple things going on within their portfolio, which I don't know if you can really track what they're doing. It's kind of hard. But mine each has an individual system with black and white rules, so each system is very trackable and repeatable. Okay, so let's start with the earnings edge. What's going on with the earnings edge? You can see my earnings edge account here. See my Netlick 9045. So you can see it's down from last week a little bit. You can see that I am in Baidu right now, and it's down $1,260. So I'm not necessarily going to put that in until it closes into the spreadsheet, but I'll just, so you can see, I'm going to pull over the spreadsheet here. Last trade was Amazon where I made that 1040. You can see that since the 3.0 version, I'm 3-0-0, but I might be 3-1 by the time I get out of Baidu. And I'll have some averages and average wins, average losses, and we'll see how the 3.0 system's doing. So far, so good. What was that Netlick? It was 9069. So I'll put that in 9069. And what is SPY? SPY is trading at 604.35. 604.35. It's up pretty good. Okay, so in 2025, the earnings edge is up 41%, and the S&P 500 is up 3.2%. And you could see overall the earnings edge since 2022 is up 81%. And the market, the S&P is up 23.27%. So you can see it's outperforming there. Of course, there's more risk with the earnings edge than there is just holding the market and just buying and going long. So you have to take that into account. But that is the earnings edge. So let's get into the PL5 Pro. This is my larger account. Let's see what that one's doing. PL5 Pro would be the 275. It should be, yeah, 483, 237, 483, 237. Okay, so up about $3,000, couple $1,000. 483, 237. Okay, so looking at the PL5 Pro, I started trading this on July 19, 2024. Started with 403,907, and by the end of the year, it was up $64,602, up 15.99%. The market at that same time from July 19 was up 6.65%. Now, the 2025 numbers, the PL5 Pro is up $14,728 and up 3.14%. And the S&P 500 is up 3.22%, so it's pretty much break even here. But the PL5 Pro has about half the drawdowns, maybe a little more. So it's better on a risk-adjusted basis. But you can see the PL5 Pro since July 19, 2024, since I started trading it live, because it took me about 6 months to backtest it, make sure that it's viable and everything. So in 2024, so I made the upgrade in July 19, 2024 when I started trading it live. and so far about 19.64%. The market's up 10.8%. The market's doing quite well, but the PL5 Pro is what I would expect. You get into a bull market, the PL5 Pro is going to underperform the market most, not half the time. The other half it'll keep up with the market, but then the other half of the time it's not going to. Let's talk about the Premier Level 5. Just the Premier Level 5, okay, not the Pro. And it's in my account here, but it's in Interactive Brokers, so I can't necessarily show the whole thing because it'll show my account number. But you can see here I have 34,157 in my Interactive Brokers account. 34,157. So let's see if I can get that in the spreadsheet. So it's up. 34,157 is up from last week. So this one I started July 16th, 2024. So basically almost the same time frame. I started with $30,000. In 2024, I made 3,066 or 10.22%. The S&P 500 from that day, July 16th, 2024, was up 3.94%. So the PL5, which is specifically designed to outperform the S&P 500, did that quite well in 2024. And now that we look at 2025, my account is at 34,157, up 3.3%, and the market's up 3.22. So they're pretty much break even coming in into this. Now the drawdowns are going to be a little bit almost the same, maybe a tiny bit more with the PL5 versus the S&P 500, but they're pretty equal in the drawdowns. So when you see the returns, the nominal returns, that's pretty much, there's not really a risk adjusted factor. So the PL5 is up 13.86%, the market 7.29% since I started trading it. So you can see that the PL5 is outperforming the market as expected, and that's what I would expect to happen. Okay, let's talk about the Safe Wheel. This account, I have actually traded all of my trades except for the ones that I do on Fridays, which are little $5 calls. Take that out. You've seen every single trade that I've made in this account, and every decision I've made and why I've made those decisions. But let's take a look at the account value. So we'll go to that account. This one here, 5651 is the net lick. 5651. So this is up a little bit this week. The Safe Wheel in 2022 did 21%, where the market was down 19. 2023 it underperformed. The market was up 24, and the Safe Wheel up 5. The 2024 the Safe Wheel underperformed, minus 14%, where the market was up 23. And I put the wrong number in there. So for this year, let's see how the Safe Wheel is doing. I got 5651 in the account. It looks like I put too much in there. 5651. Okay. And so far this year, 2025, it's been about a month and about 5 weeks. Up 3.12%, and the market's up 3.22%. But I'm getting probably about half the drawdown. So on a risk-adjusted basis, it's outperforming this year. But on a nominal basis, they have about the same returns. But overall, since 2022, the Safe Wheel is up 13.02%, and the market's up 27.24%. On a risk-adjusted basis, probably about even, right? Because you can pretty much double what the nominal return is on the Safe Wheel, and you'll get that risk-adjusted return. But nominally underperforming since 2022. We'll see how things go from here on out. But you can see the numbers there. So now I'm going to go ahead and actually make my trades in the account. So let's go to the account, and you can take a look at this. Let's see. We can see that I own 100 shares. So the first thing I'm going to do is see if my hedges are proper, or whether I need to make any adjustments with the hedges. The first thing I ask is, do I own 200 shares? If I do, then I would go ahead and cash out if I could, but I don't own 200 shares, so the answer is no there. Then I look at how many days in the trade. If I'm under 100 days, I'll have too quick of a depreciation. I'm 130 days, so I'm fine there. And then the next question is, this is $20 strike within 70% of 26.59, because that's what it's currently trading. So let me pull up the calculator. 20 divided by 26.59, it's 75%, so that's fine. As long as it's within 70%, I don't have to move it up closer to what the actual price is. It's close enough to protect me. Okay, so the hedge is good here, and of course I have this long $31 call. That's to protect this hedge in case something crazy happens with LI and it goes to $50 or something like that. I'll have this long call to protect this hedge because this hedge would go to zero. Okay, so the hedges are good. Now let's take a look at what happened last week. I think I sold a put, right? And I was going to add another layer, another tier. I sold a put, but LI went higher. So I was able to just collect that premium, and it expired worthless. So now my goal is to be able to sell a covered call. My price, my cost basis was $24. Let's see if I can get it for $24 or more. I'm sure I can. So let's see if I can sell a covered call here. And I want to do it in the nearest expiration that's expiring on Friday. And I want to get at least 27 cents. So here I could sell the $28 call and still collect as the amount of premium I want to collect. And that would work. But what I like to do is always go, if I'm out of the money, I like to go to the one that I could do and go one more back and collect a little more premium, but also be far enough out of the money to where if I get called away, I make pretty good money on it. So I'm going to actually sell the 27.50. I'm going to sell one of those because of my sizing. I have between $5,000 and $10,000, so I'll do one wheel and 3 put hedges. That's the sizing. So here I'm going to try to collect 45 cents or $45, selling this covered call at the 27.50. That'll expire on Friday, and that just filled. So now I'm always collecting, right? ABC, always collecting. So I collected some more premium today. And if I get called away, that'd be good because my basis was 24. I get called away at 27.50. I'll make $350 if I get called away. Plus I made 45 bucks here. So we'll see what happens. I think we're coming into earnings in a couple weeks. So that's always good too. If you ever get, that's what I like about it. If you get kind of stuck in a trade, not really stuck, because you can't really get stuck in a trade when you're trading the safe wheel. But if you get into a position where you're kind of in that area where you need it to go down more or up more, and that would help your position, it's always nice to come into earnings. I like to come into earnings when that happens. But right now I don't really need any, either way. I'd prefer it to go up, right, and call me away and collect that $350. That would be ideal. But if it doesn't, that's okay too, because I have a put. Okay, so that's the safe wheel. Let's take a look and see if there's any comments or things. Shovel said he was first, and actually he was first today. And Avery was second. And Avery said, hit that like button. If you like the fact that what I do here is I take my 4 trading systems and I separate them out into 4 separate accounts so you can see how those systems are working on an individual basis. It's not a whole bunch of, it's not like just one portfolio with all these things going on and it's confusing. It's very black and white. Here's how this system's doing in this account. Here's my P&L. Here's my net liquidation. If you like that, hit the like button because it will show, the algorithm will show it to more people. And my goal is I want all instructors to be doing it like this because I think it's fair. I think it's honest. I think it's transparent, right? I want transparency. And if other instructors would share their P&L, we would have transparency in this industry. I mean, how many of us share our P&L? 4, 5, 3, 2, 1? I mean, there's thousands and thousands. I have a list over here Every time someone asks me to do a, let's see if I can pull that out real quick. Every time someone tries to ask me to do a review, I write it down. And you'd be surprised how many people out there are that have a trading system or that are trying to sell you something. I mean, it's crazy. And I thought I had it here easily, but I've got a list of, I'd say at least, I'd say at least 250, maybe even more than that. 300. Here they are. Look at this list here. It's two-sided stuff. I mean, it's so many of them. These people. This is all these people right here that are asking me to review. Look at all these. Look at them, all of them. Look at this. Here's another one. All of these. Here's another one. There's another one. I mean, there's got to be thousands of them out there. And how many of them show their actual P&L in their account, in their portfolio? I mean, you can count on one hand. So if you hit the like button, maybe we can get this out there in the industry, force these guys to share their P&L. That would be awesome. That's my goal. Okay, next. Leslie Moore says, today's a good day when the shovel is truly first. The shovel was out here at 5 a.m., the Monarch says. And FS Spectre says, been a while, just swinging by to say, hey, good to see you. Lance says the poor audio. Okay, well, hopefully the audio is working okay. Will says the earnings edge looking good this year after the tweaks. You found the secret sauce. We'll see. Time will tell. But so far, yeah, I'm 3-0. But it looks like I might take a loss on this trade coming up, on this particular trade that I'm in on Baidu. Avery, it would be nice if you talked about how each position in the safe wheel is doing, money-wise. Well, really the hard part about that is I can only kind of look at, what's happening this year so far. So I can only see that LI is up $224 year to date. And I can't really see because this only tracks 1 year or this particular year, right? 2025. So it wouldn't be easy to do that, but it's a good idea. Unless it's more, as your account size grows with a safe wheel, wouldn't it be better to add positions to the same stock or pick a second stock to wheel? Yes, a lot of people that are running the safe wheel because they took the course, so they kind of have the fast track, which is available. There's a link in the description if you're interested in that. Those people run more than one underlying. They'll do it with 2, 3, or 4, depending on how much capital they have. And that is actually a pretty good way to diversify. I just run the most simplest way to do it so I can teach it. But if I had more money in it, I would probably diversify out and use different underlyings and maybe have 3 or 4 underlyings running. Well, less is more. Getting stuck in the wheel trade seems to be a bit of the Achilles heel of the other systems. Yes, actually I just made a video, which I'll release in next week, about the 7 hidden risks of the wheel strategy. So I got into some details on that, but that's coming out in a week or two. And Will says, and another one. So I'm not sure what you're referring to. So Lance says the audio is better now, probably because I started speaking up or my throat's feeling better. I couldn't speak earlier when we started here. Let's see. Will, Carl, you're the JD Kyle of options trading. Who's JD Kyle? I don't know who that is. Avery, and I probably don't know who that is because I don't really watch the news or watch a lot of things. I'm trading all the time. Not trading all the time, but looking at potential trades to make my trading better. That's what I like to do. So that's what I'm doing a lot of the times, is like looking at potential ways to make my trading better. But actual trading, I don't really do much of that because my systems are set up to not really take up a lot of my time. Let's see, I meant because you mentioned your overall account, but not each individual position, and I can't always see your screen. Okay. So here's the, yeah, you can't see my screen sometimes because you're probably driving or whatever. But I've got 100 shares of LI. I've got, I'm short the 2750 call that expires at the end of the week, one. I'm long the 31 call that expires at the end of the week, just one of those. And I'm long the June 20th $20 put. I own 3 of those. So that's my total position here in the safe wheel. Okay. Another one, Avery says, and I have to tell him the reference in person. Okay, yeah. You can let me know who JD or DJ Khalid. Is that a trader? I don't think that is a trader. I'd probably know who he was. Will says it's better that you don't know. Well, I'm going to find out who that is. Shovel says, oh, brother, about that guy. I don't know who that guy is. Okay. Will says, thanks for the transparency, Carl. Have a good week. Yes, you are welcome. And I appreciate you guys coming in here. Let's see here what Monarch loans. I also fail at most pop-up culture references. Okay, so, and I guess the guy is dead, whoever he is. And Lance says, on LI Auto, this is a non-directional trade. Right, so this is the safe wheel, and it's a non-directional trade. So it doesn't matter if the stock goes up, down, or sideways. There's some, obviously the wheel is going to perform better in certain circumstances where, if it goes down first and you get assigned, and then it goes up after that, you sell a covered call like I just did. This is a good scenario, but it's unpredictable. I don't predict the future. I don't know what the stock's going to do, and it doesn't matter that much really. And that's the way the system is designed. It's designed to not have to think about which way the stock's going to go. That's not part of my thought process. And so it doesn't take up a lot of my time or effort or energy trying to figure out which way a stock's going to go. That's not part of my thought process. And that's the way my systems are designed, all of them. And of course, the safe wheel is designed that way too. Okay. Well, in parting, I like to say, if the P&L is not real, what else are they trying to conceal? I appreciate you guys, and I'll be back next week.